So I know you see that sun beaming in the back. Beaming, it is beaming. Yes, I see them sun rays coming off. Oh, it looks so good. I love it. But anyways, so I wanted to come and do a video today, and talk about yet another topic that mofos really wish that I don't talk about. Okay. And some people are nervous about me talking about certain things, and they could just calm down because some of the stuff, you know, I really don't care to talk about. But other things, yep, I'm 1000%, you know, gonna talk about. And this is one of those topics that has to do with my alleged family. Okay. But we're going to go all the way to the other side because, we've talked a lot about, my alleged maternal side quite a bit, of Dee Dee Sunshine, Hartley Smith Barnes, right? But we have not really talked about my paternal side that much. Okay. So, of Bobby Wayne Mumphord. So I wanted to do this video because it has been heavy, heavy, heavy on my heart. And I feel that, with all the alleged, exposure coming out about all these individuals and, things that they have done in the dark with the, Epstein files and, the other, celebrity stuff that has come out that's, exposing these mofos for their evil, wicked, diabolical ways. I thought it was only befitting to talk about, you know, uh, what I actually see as a blood sacrifice within my alleged father's side of the family. And, I got mofos around me right now that's trying to do subliminal messages for me not to talk about this subject. They can suck it, you know what, and I'll fight them to the you know what. Stop it. They need to stop it. They they have already done so much failed spell work. They do mind control tactics and all this other bullshit. Regardless of what they try to do, I want the fact checkers to check. Listen, you ain't got to take my word for it. Go do your due diligence and fact check what I'm talking about because all this ish is on the record. Okay? Now, some of it would be, how do I say, um, things that might not be as easily attained because it is dealing with medical and stuff like that, right? So, anyways, the subject that we're going to talk about today has to deal with my alleged grandmother, Peggy Geneva Mumphord. Okay. Now, me and my grandmother, whether she's my blood grandmother or not, her and I were very cool. Okay. We were very much, um, we had a lot of similarities. Not everything that we agree on, not everything was we cool about, but for the most part, a lot of people hated on her and I's relationship because she didn't like girls and she didn't like women, but she loved me. Okay? You listen, she loved me. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what they try to come out with, what kind of whatever. She had love for me. Okay? Right? And people hated that. There were people that were jealous of that, and oh well, that's not my problem, you know. But they attempted to make it my problem. So, anyways, the main things that I want to talk about regarding Peggy Geneva Mumphord, other than that she did not like girls or women, I mean, most of them she couldn't stand, and I'm telling you, like, she really couldn't stand them. And with what I have grown up, because I was a tomboy growing up, and I think that's why she also uh, liked me as well, is because I didn't operate like a lot of little girls and women, with gossip and all this other nonsense. Okay, I didn't do all that. So, there were uh, I mastered my masculinity before I mastered femininity. I would say that. Working on simultaneously, just like when I look back, is do this video for a long time now. Okay. And so that's what to do. So one of the main things that needs to be said with regards to Peggy Geneva Mumphord is that she was an old school matriarch. She was an old school big mama. She ran her household, her estate. She ran it. Okay. And she did very well doing what she, was doing. Okay. She, if you look at it, she never worked allegedly a day in her life, right? Not for a company or, something like that. She did sit children, meaning that she did watch people's children. That would bring her in finances. But my grandfather, he literally retired from two different jobs, one being the military and second being GE, okay, General Electric. He retired from two different jobs, and he left her pretty much set. She didn't have even she didn't work while he was alive. She didn't drive the car. He drove her everywhere or had other people drive her. You know, she was a lady, an epitome of what a lady was for that time frame. She literally had uh, impeccable style. She would dress. And when I say dress, I mean the shoes, the hat, the purse, the gloves to match. Like everything is matching, everything is pressed, everything is, it, the epitome of a lady, elegance and class. Okay. Now, she would still fight you and she would still cuss your ass out. And if need be, she would take your ass out too. So don't get it twisted. She was the old school Mississippi Big Mama. Like she was a real one. Okay. Not whatever they doing with these fake ones. She was a real one. Okay. So with all that being said, she had a lot of things in place that she wanted and that she chose. Okay. They the alleged family members, cousins, and uh, second cousins, and all this other nonsense. My alleged father, Bobby Wayne Mumphord, did not deal with these cousins that he had, and pretty much none of the family. He really only had one individual out of the whole family that he really rocked with. And come to find out, that dude was, a snake and basically the Judas of my alleged father, right? He was the Judas. He was the spy. He was the mole. He was, you know, yeah, that the only one out of all of them was still the one that betrayed him. He should have not dealt with now one of them. So, anyways, with that being said, my alleged father was allegedly the only child of Peggy Mumphord and Elvin Mumphord, my alleged grandfather, right? Elvin Mumphord, who has a twin brother, Alan Mumphord, that's in Tejas, aka Texas. Okay, the fictitious borders and boundaries of Texas. So, important information that a lot of people do not know about my grandmother's passing is that when I was sent for by the family for me to go and be with my grandmother, who was holding on until I got there, okay? She was holding out and staying alive for me to get there. Okay, that's number one. Number two is that when I got there, she was in hospice and she was not verbal. She was already nonverbal. Now, why is that important? Because she was actually being given a known medication that she is allergic to, which is morphine. Okay. She was being given morphine, which it was all over her medical records that she was allergic to morphine. So why in hospice would they be giving her something that she is known to be allergic to? Years and years and years allergic to this. So another key component is that my alleged grandmother, Peggy Geneva Mumphord, had renal disease, okay, and was on dialysis 3 times a week. And when I was with her, when I was living up there in Washington State, I would go with her to dialysis. I would sit in the dialysis with her and chill with her and laugh with her. And, it was very taxing on her to actually do the dialysis. Now, what's important about the dialysis is that she was literally taken off of dialysis. Okay? Someone made the decision, fact checkers check the facts. Who made the decision to take her off of dialysis? Who made that decision? Because whoever made that decision is a murderer. Why do I say that? Or they are a conspirator or co-conspirator to the murder of Peggy Geneva Mumphord. Why would I say that she was murdered? She was murdered for her estate and for these thieves of alleged family members to gain control of her estate. Now, why is this important? Because she, in her health records, in various different locations, I'm not going to say the locations, baby, because these people, they like to try to do magic and shit. We're going to make sure that all the locations keep those documentation. But let me tell you what she had, which blows this shit all out of the water. She had a life-sustaining documentation on record in numerous places. Life-sustaining order, which means that you are to take every measure to save her life. Peggy, let me say this again. Peggy Geneva Mumphord had a life-sustaining order on file at numerous different places in which she would get health care. Now, why is that important? Because taking somebody off of dialysis goes against a life-sustaining order, baby. The math ain't mathing. How do you have a life-sustaining order, but yet you are taken off of dialysis? And not only taken off of dialysis against your consent would be to take every measure to save her life. So if every measure was taken, then dialysis would have been still being done. Now, anybody taken off of dialysis that needs dialysis and they don't get dialysis, they're gonna die. So you telling me that there's a life-sustaining order on her medical move? Because, well, no, let me let that sink in for a second. Okay. Let me let you marinate with that for a second. Because these bitches is cold-blooded. Yeah, but you know, God let me see all they wicked shit. Yeah. You know, it's so diabolical. It's so diabolical. So now moving right along to other important facts. There was a fake, unlawful, illegal will that was. How can I make those kind of allegations? Well, because the simple fact is the actual date was allegedly signed, which was not her autograph. If they have an expert that comes through and like verifies if that was her signature, they're gonna see it's a forgery. Is that the actual date that it was alleged that the alleged will was signed was a day that Peggy Geneva Mumphord just happened to be in the ICU. Now, anybody that knows anything about the ICU knows. I'm going to reiterate the last facts. Geneva Mumphord, she was in the ICU. Only immediate family are allowed in the ICU. Okay? Only immediate family. So the paralegal, she does not make the cut to get in the ICU.